Hey everyone, it's Galaxy with the Horror Trash Podcast. Thanks for tuning in today. Before we get started, we wanted to take some time to honor our special guests for this episode. Two of our hosts could not make it for the recording, so we invited our good friend Michelle, aka Red Vixen, to our table. We've known Michelle for over a year and have been to many horror events together and many concerts. We loved having her on the show and asked her if she would like to return as a member of our team. She was so excited to participate as she loved everything horror and took any opportunity to be social. A week after recording, unfortunately, we received news that Michelle had passed. We miss her dearly and are grateful to have spent the time we had with her. Our hearts go out to Michelle's friends and family during this time as the horror community lost a lovely soul. We will miss you, friend. Hey there, Garbies. Welcome to the Horror Trash Podcast. Warning, what you're about to listen to is irreverent, offensive, semi-homoerotic, and full of spoilers. Also, not backed by any facts. So sit back, relax, loosen up that belt, and let us penetrate your mind holes. Enjoy the show. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Horror Trash Podcast. It's me, your wonderful host, Galaxy, joined here with my friends Roel.
Hello.
And Jared.
Hello.
Unfortunately, we are missing Mix and Ernie, but we do have a special guest, one of our lovely friends, Michelle.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome, Michelle.
Welcome,
Hi,
Michelle.
Hi, how you doing?
We have known Michelle for quite a while. We've done some projects with her. She is a mistress of horror, and she is the hostess of the San Antonio Horrific Film Festival.
You might know her
right.
as
Red Vixen.
okay.
So, you guys, today is Friday the 13th. We are recording on the day of unluck, I guess.
Ooh,
I don't know.
No,
what
it's lucky for me. I like the lucky 13.
Yes. Everybody go get your cheap tattoos.
They're not cheap.
No
Yeah,
tattoos.
keep it on
It's
there.
$20 for a tattoo today.
Is it really?
Yes.
No, I mean, yeah, most places.
It's
do have that.
$13 for a tattoo every Friday the 13th, and then you pay a $7 tip, so they just charge you $20.
Wow.
So then it's not $13.
Anyways,
It's usually Friday the 13th.
so you guys, it's been a while. What have y'all been up to horror related?
Oh. So by the suggestion of somebody.
That's a damn lie. Because earlier he was like, you guys, guess what I'm watching on Netflix?
I started watching the show that I don't remember that Galaxy talked about.
It's called Marionette.
No. It's called what?
Marianne.
You're the one that watched it?
I just wanted to hear you all say it.
Oh.
We're in sync too, do you
I
know
know
that?
that was.
So
that was
is,
really
what
good.
episode are you on?
I just started this like episode 1.
Okay, you could
Wait,
have
episode 1? That's a terrible movie.
Wow, that is a shitty movie.
It
Phantom Menace.
It's really good.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I haven't seen the Star Wars movies, so let's move on.
Okay.
Michelle, have you seen Marianne?
I haven't, but you guys keep talking about it. I'm going to have to check that out now.
It's really good, and it's actually super creepy.
Did you binge it?
No, I can't binge because
You have a child.
Yeah, that's my problem, too. I can't binge watch anything. I don't have time.
I have a 3-year-old, and I can't watch scary things in front of her.
Oh. I feel bad. I've been having my daughter since she was a toddler watching scary movies. Seed of Chucky was her favorite. She watched it over and over and over.
The weird thing about kids, though, is that they know it's scary. And, like, you can put on, like, my daughter is very iffy with cartoons. She'll watch whatever, and she'll lose interest. But if you put something scary on, nothing could be happening. But they'll be glued to the TV. Like, they know something's going to happen. And I'm like, why are you watching now? So, because she's very attentive, when I put scary stuff on, I always change it.
That's exactly how it was. That was the first horror movie
That's
I saw.
how it starts.
There's a story behind that.
What was the first
It's
one?
apropos, actually, because today's Friday 13th.
That's
Oh,
actually
it was Friday
super
the 13th?
interesting. What was y'all's favorite first horror movie?
That I can remember being into horror. I know he has his already.
Well,
'cause it's
go
locked
ahead and
loaded.
finish, Jared.
Locked and loaded.
It's okay. Roel, why don't you tell us your first damn
No,
fucking
because
horror movie?
you're-
Oh my god.
Okay, so basically, I'm gonna do the Reader's Digest version. I was in a what was it, high stools?
High chair?
High chair, thank you. I haven't been a kid for a while, so I don't know these
I think
things.
that's from like the 1880s.
High school.
Anyways, I was fussy, and my mom had to do
No.
something, and they wanted to give me food and shut me up, so they turned on the TV, and they're going through the channels, and I wasn't really having it. As soon as Friday 13th was put on, like as in maybe even enough time to register what it was, and I was really young, so I couldn't. I shut up. I stayed quiet, and my parents realized from that point that if they put on a horror movie, I was actually one of the quietest babies ever.
It happens. It's every kid. I don't know what it is. Like my niece, who was terrified of scary movies. When I didn't have kids, I thought, oh, I can just put on a scary movie and they'll play with their toys or whatever. I could be watching like some random comedy and they're like, blah, 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 minding my own business. As soon as I put something scary on, they're glued to the TV.
It's probably the sounds too.
Just the atmosphere.
Mhm.
It's like the music in horror movies. I'm like, oh.
Foley.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have one that I can remember, but I remember the movie that honestly started it all for me that I could remember giving me nightmares.
That wasn't the question.
But I'm just saying.
I'm just kidding.
Hold on, I'm going to try to guess it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to say
The
It-
Frighteners.
no.
Well, there was actually two.
Stop making it harder
There's
on
two.
me.
But
What decade? 80s?
oh yeah, for sure.
Poltergeist.
No.
No.
It was Suburbia.
What?
The
What's in
Exorcist.
the What's in the furnace?
Wait, give us another hint. I want to play again.
I mean, one is it's a very famous horror movie, and the other one not so much.
Oh,
Jaws.
Cool Runnings.
Well, that one was scary.
Jaws.
No,
The Exorcist.
no,
Amityville Horror.
no,
Nightmare.
The
on Elm Street.
Exorcisist.
no.
Jared, go to the other room, please.
He is a horror icon.
Michael Myers. I mean, Halloween.
Nope, you're close though. Within that realm
How-
of the
Oh,
the
it's
top.
going to have to be
Oh, Texas
Frederick
Chainsaw.
Krueger.
Yes, it is.
Frederick
Frederick.
Krueger.
That's what I was gonna
Yep.
say next. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he likes
That
child
was mine.
molesters.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was. I remember having the same reoccurring nightmare as a child, all the time. And
Which movie, though?
wait, which movie? As in?
Like,
The first
which
one.
Oh,
one got you the most when you were younger?
Oh, I mean, it was the first one of
Okay.
just everything, and I
Yeah, it
remember
came
having
out
the
in
same nightmare.
1984, 85. Right?
Yeah,
Sorry.
to where it was always in my grandma's house. He murdered my entire family, and I was running through the house kind of like Scooby Doo, where he would like chase me into one room down the hall, and then I'd pop out at another one type of thing, and then it would always end. I was behind the couch, hiding, freaking out, and he like threw the couch across the room, and right before he slashed me, I woke up, and I had that dream all the time for
Oh,
like
that's
ever.
horrible.
Yeah,
but-
that's scary, especially when you're young.
Yeah,
He's like, no, this was last year.
yeah.
When did he start asking you, where's the bourbon?
That's my favorite fucking line in all of them. Like, I love that line so much.
Is that
I'll be
what
down in a
song?
minute. I said, where do you keep the bourbon, bitch? Like, I love that. But yeah, that was the one. Oh, and Cat's Eye with
Oh,
the
yeah.
little fucking
The
troll.
troll?
The
That's the
troll.
last
Jesus
trilogy.
Christ.
The Drew
that
Barrymore segment?
yes, that freaked me out as
Drew
a child.
Barrymore was not the
That
troll.
oh my God.
I have that on VHS.
That
I love
both
it.
scared me, but also consoled me because I had a cat,
I
and I
kn-
was like, "Bitch, come to my room."
Right.
That thing looks so creepy.
Yeah,
So
like the same
creepy.
thing. Like those animatronics, like in the gate, those freaked
Oh
me out
yeah,
when I was a kid.
yeah, the little, and also the movie Troll. It was more of the box cover with the troll holding the
The
ball,
silhouette.
and yeah, and then with the trailer, because obviously the movie is not scary, but the trailer where the ball bounces down the basement, I would always get scared when the like a basketball or anything in our house would get close to this little opening underneath the house. And I would freak out trying to get the ball like as quickly as I could because I didn't want to troll.
So
to
what
get me.
about after the second one came out? The sandwiches. freaked you out?
and the fucking the burlap sacks? I wasn't afraid anymore after that.
What about you, Michelle?
Mine would be the same. Nightmare on Elm Street. That was the first, and it was at the drive-in, the Mission Drive-in, and it was paired with Purple Rain. So I got to
Oh,
see
shit.
Nightmare on Elm Street and Purple Rain.
What came
To
first? though?
cleanse your palate.
Yeah.
I think it was Purple Rain first.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
And
you got to
then-
get that, and then bam.
And that was more my dad's thing, you know. He was like, oh, and I was
Purple
like,
Rain was your dad's
and
thing?
then, well, I was with my parents. So
Yeah,
I
but
was,
Purple Rain was your dad's thing.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
But you know what? Prince is the shit. So it's like, who doesn't like him, you know?
Yeah.
So, we went to see that movie.
Actually,
and I was like,
a lot of people that work with them don't like him.
Well, that's
I-
yeah,
You're
that's a
talking-
whole
We're
other
talking
thing.
about as fans, not as workers.
I definitely liked it. So then after that, it was Nightmare on Elm Street. And I remember this shit was awesome. I was hooked ever since then
Yeah.
on horror
For
movies.
How
me-
old were you?
I was 5.
For me, the first movie to actually like legitimately keep me up at night was Nightmare on Elm Street, because the concept of just like not being safe in your sleep really freaked me out.
Yeah.
But I was really sheltered as a child, grew up super religious, so I wasn't allowed to watch scary movies. But the movie that actually, what is that?
That
mean?
explains a lot.
Like what?
Like,
Of why you haven't seen a lot of movies.
and like all of our references from movies like that are major, you've never seen them.
Oh,
Because you were sheltered. They
well,
kept you in the
so
cage.
like
Michael.
this.
Michael.
That's funny. I don't know who that is. But so in
Exactly.
the late
Same.
90s, there was a VHS tape that my parents left in the VCR, and I was home alone in summer. I was like 11.
Did you watch
and-
it?
Shut up.
The 7 days you got the call?
It wasn't The Ring. The Ring
Oh.
didn't come out in the 90s. It was I Know What You Did Last Summer. And keep in mind, I have not seen anything scary before. So I was watching it, and I was like, oh, this is... Oh, my God, Seth. Are you just going to troll the whole podcast?
The tea's done.
So anyways,
Dishes
I
are done, man.
put it in, and... Shut up. I know how that sounded like. I started the movie, and... it was good, whatever, but the part that really got me was the Sarah... oh, my God. So the Sarah Jessica Parker part, the Sarah
That is the scary part.
the Sarah Michelle Gellar part, where she basically it's her chase scene. I legitimately, for the first like thrilling horror movie I've ever seen, I couldn't handle the anxiety of that part. I had to fast forward it because I was like, live or die, I need this bitch to do one of two things because I can't sit here and be tormented in my anxiety. So I fast forwarded it until she actually died. But that was the scariest thing I've seen. And my parents were kind of cruel now that I think about it, because I used to see with my dog, and like my parents had this like rule after I started watching scary movies that if I watched a scary movie, I couldn't sleep with my dog.
Why?
I was like,
Isn't that illegal anyways?
oh my God.
Only
if
in
you're
certain
gonna say
states.
jokes, please make sure they're funny.
I got some laughs.
No. But anyways, so what are we talking about today?
Wait, hold on. For anyone that's listening, comment below on what your first movie was and what your experience was.
Yeah, which you
Just
can
so we
remember.
could know, and maybe we could talk about it later on the podcast.
Yeah, it's always fun to remember what got you into kind of horror
Yeah.
in general.
So
that
I'm,
was
I'm
like-
interested what everyone else has to
that
say.
was a
as well.
surprise question that I actually enjoyed.
No,
It's fun.
well, yeah, whatever, Michael. Thanks for ruining it.
But I always remember in that movie just her spinning in circles and saying, "What are you waiting for?"
Oh, fun trivia. Do you know why she did that?
Why? The director wanted her boobs to bounce.
No.
That's all that
Oh
scene
my
was about.
God. No.
At that point, it was.
So there was a competition for people to enter that if you won, you could make it an executive choice in the movie. And so this kid won, and Jennifer Love Hewitt talks about it in her interviews. This kid won. He goes, I want her to spin around and say, "What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?" And so she shut
He
up.
did it.
Seth,
Why? Because he wanted her, little adolescent boy. I just wanted her to bounce up and down and say like this line.
They had to tell him not on the trampoline.
They're like, we won't go with the trampoline, but we'll go with
we'll
the
do
spinning.
this. Yeah.
So Jennifer Love Hewitt, when she first heard it, was like, this sounds stupid. And then she did it. And in her interview, like a year ago, I forgot what she was interviewing for, the new show she's in, she said that when she takes her kids trick-or-treating, people still stop her and ask her to do it.
Because
Oh my
that's
God.
the one thing I remember the most
Wait,
of that movie.
I have a question then based upon that. For each of you, I'm going to start with Michelle. If you were granted an executive decision on I Know What You Did Last Summer, what would you have chosen?
Oh, I already know.
Thank you, Michelle. For the real Michelle,
I don't know. That's like as far as what like.
Any change made to the movie.
or not even changes, like just something that.
Can I
you
go
wanna
first
see.
while she thinks?
I don't know,
Yes.
maybe the scene where Sarah Michelle Gellar's standing up on the stage, or am I getting the movies confused?
No, that's the right
That's
one.
the
yeah.
right one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that part probably right there.
Well, I mean, what would you do? Like cut it out, or just have her stand and
yeah,
jump around?
I'd probably have like something fall from the stage and just like chop her head off, so we could avoid
Oh,
that
so
scene.
a different way of her
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
That's entirely different. Okay, Rolando
Front of the
or
whole
Roel,
audience.
some calls you. What would you?
I honestly don't even know. Like, I can barely remember that movie outside of Sarah Michelle Gellar because
Lucky.
I had a mad crush on her at that point. Just more spinning in circles. I guess.
She didn't even
More
do
of
that.
her jumping up and down.
Okay, a real answer
Might be.
from an actual fan is I would have Sarah. Oh my god.
Hi,
This is not a
Jared.
juvenile podcast.
Juvenile.
You will.
I was gonna start singing a Juvenile song right now.
Yeah, it's a good thing we don't have
boys-
smell-o-vision here because
You
Seth
boys
just
will
blew
shape
a
up or
burp
ship
at
out.
Mikey.
All right. So what was your
Okay,
executive
so I would have Sarah Michelle Gellar live because
decision? Oh.
all that chase, all that badassery she did, maybe it wouldn't be as impactful if she did live, but no matter how many times I watch it, that's my favorite chase scene in every movie, and a small part of me is like, maybe she'll make it this time.
I'm over here. Let's take her head off.
Yeah.
So with that movie.
But wait, I have another one. Can I
Okay.
do this? Sorry,
Yeah.
I could talk about
Yeah,
something
just do,
else.
it
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Do one more.
Um,
Yeah.
Then I'll
What
go
was
I
Fine.
behind.
also so Jennifer Love Hewitt gets a lot of flack for being the worst final girl because she's kind of a bitch in the movie to Sarah Michelle Gellar. We can get into it whether it's deserved or not because there's 50-50, but I would have her character soften up and actually be more warm to Sarah Michelle Gellar to kind of emphasize the friendship because I think that movie is great with character development. I like the characters, but there needed to be a more connection so that her death is more impactful. But also, if they lived, that'd be cool too.
Well, it's because Jennifer Love Hewitt was the it girl at that point in time. So
So the executive decision I would make is for them to not make the movie at all.
I knew you were gonna say
That's
that because
basically
you
it.
don't like that shit.
Let me tell you why.
Because they could have
Jared
made another
doesn't want this
Scream.
movie to be made.
Why doesn't he want it to be made?
Because it doesn't have incest. It doesn't have any type of weird, fucked up shit happening in it.
That's true.
It's not French, Japanese, or European, or what did you say?
Yeah,
What
or
was
European.
it?
It's not French or European. And it isn't Scream.
I didn't know you were such a Scream fanboy.
I'm not, but Scream came first, and everything just kind of copied that idea.
It was the same writer. Kevin Williamson wrote I Know What You Did Last
Doesn't
Summer.
mean anything.
If you want to go that
He didn't
route...
write it. Well, first
No.
of all, it was from a
No,
book.
no.
So
I
he
was going to
didn't
say,
write
if you
it.
want to
Yeah.
go that
It's
route,
from
it
a
was a
book.
book first.
And
so
Scream was in a book, so yeah.
Oh my god. I actually read the book, and it has nothing to do with the book, but you're giving me
Yeah.
credit.
All right. Next time on debate,
I know, right? Okay, so
You know what? End the show. I'm just kidding.
it's over.
all right, so let's get into it, guys. So today we are talking about the 2015 movie,
Diablo de los Azúcar Dulces.
or in American, is The Devil's Candy.
The Devil's Candy.
Thank
The
you.
devil's candy.
Well, you want to give one a go? Okay, that's
fine.
good. Okay, so, anyways, so we're gonna kind of go through this. I hope you guys actually watch the movie.
Yeah.
Warning.
It's a good movie.
Spoilers,
sucks.
or it sucked.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, guys. So
Always gonna be that person. Whatever we say. Oh,
So-
it was really good. It sucked.
let's go around the table. Who has seen this before? Before we saw it for our review. Mikey, have you seen it before?
No.
So this is your first time.
Yes.
Okay, and
I can't tell if
Roel?
you're being serious that you really don't like not approving of any.
Oh
of
no,
this.
it's fine.
Oh,
I was
okay.
just.
No, I meant to see it. I had it on my list on Netflix, but I never got around to it, and then it disappeared.
Oh
And
yeah,
then-
it did disappear. That's probably why I didn't see it after all. Because I did want to watch it, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Michelle?
And it's my first time watching it last night. So.
That's great. For me, I actually saw it on Netflix, and I very judgmental. I thought the name was stupid, and the little art that they had for the thumbnail just didn't appeal to me at all, and I just didn't want to watch it because
What
it
was
doesn't be
it?
cheesy. It wasn't what it is now. It was something else. I forgot what it was.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. I really dislike that Netflix like dupes me with these movies, and they're changing the art.
Yeah,
Yes.
they
On there?
changed the art at weird times.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
And so then I don't remember the name of the movie, but I've seen it. So then I'm like, oh, this looks cool. And then I go start watching. And I'm like, I already fucking saw this shit.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of what, like, I didn't want to see it. And then I actually met Ethan Embry.
I think it was just his face and like weird colors. Like it looked.
No, I think it was actually the bigger guy. It was his image on there.
If anybody knows, and
Yeah, please let us know.
No.
Anyway, so I met Ethan Embry at a horror convention, and
you met.
I did that thing.
Oh my god! And he was in Can't Hardly with Jennifer Love Hewitt. We've come full circle.
Full circle.
It all makes sense.
That I love that movie.
And he told me
Preston
to watch it. I told him I was a big fan of his, and for some reason he brought
I
up
Can't
that
Hardly
you should
Wait,
see
right?
this movie. I think it was because he was actually very proud about this movie. I think he had a lot of pride in this movie.
Shit, it's a good movie.
Exactly. And so, yeah, I saw it upon his request, and I loved it. So, Mikey, do you want to break this down for us?
Mm-mm.
Okay, good. So, I'll give a quick breakdown. So, the movie starts with the character Ray. And he basically seems like he's a little mentally... He had, like, arrested development of some sort. He seems like he's not all there.
Well, he's a mature adult living with his parents.
There you go.
Yeah.
But there's more to that. He just seems like he's just not all there.
He was
Anyways.
also the guy in Identity.
Yes, he was. Kind of similar role.
Yeah.
Except he's not John Cusack.
I didn't even remember that until you all said that
Well,
right
because
now.
it was John Cusack.
I know because of the eye thing that he does.
Oh, okay.
Don't be mean. Anyway, so he's laying in the bed, and he suddenly gets up and he plays his Flying V
I
guitar
fucking love it.
at full volume, and he's rocking out
Oh, he's playing
without
that
his
one.
cock out.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
playing that one chord.
Yeah,
one
he is.
constant chord.
And you know
Oh.
what's funny is the people that Son did the music for this.
That explains it.
Yes.
No wonder it's such a
Just feedback,
Yeah,
one chord,
just
just holding
one
out.
chord.
Who
So,
did it?
Son, really great ambient metal band, basically.
Oh.
Anyways, so we do that. The mom comes in kind of upset. An argument ensues, and it eventually leads to the mom falling down the stairs and hurting herself. Or
I originally
died,
thought
right?
it was his wife because they look similar in age, and I was like, "Why is she talking? Is she talking about her dad?"
I was confused as well at the beginning. I didn't understand that. I thought they were together as well. And
I
then-
knew she was out of his league, so it had to be her kid.
Yeah, the beginning was a little off.
Yeah.
Okay, so then he
Understand
did that, yeah, and
he basically kills her.
he basically killed her. The stairs killed her. Let's be
Wow.
fair, okay?
Yeah.
He-
Innocent until proven guilty. Those
Exactly.
stairs
Come
were
on.
guilty.
Did
And,
he mush her or did he push her?
I think he suggested her
Hmm.
to go down the stairs with his mind. And then that's it for that. And then we cut, and then we're in a car,
Well,
right?
the father,
Well, the father
husband,
does come in and
shows up and sees her down on the
yeah, he
ground.
gets all upset.
But why did this all start in the first place? Because he heard voices.
He did? He heard voices in his head.
Well, what
They
kind of
count to me.
voices? Yeah.
I think they were demonic voices.
Yeah, we're not really, or I
But
guess it
it
is kind of hinted out
Kind
later
of
on. in the
hinted
movie.
it out. Yeah, but not.
So now we cut. We come to dad and daughter in a car loving metal together. It looks like they have an extreme bond over metal. Further emphasized by the Kirk Hammett, a bobblehead that's in the middle of the car. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh yeah, I did. I sure did.
Why Kirk Hammett, guys? Whatever.
Metallica, dude.
Oh no, Exodus. That's what it is. So yeah, so we see that they're closely bonded. They're in the car. Dad is a painter. The daughter is very close to her father, and they're basically gonna move to a house.
Yeah, the mom seems like she's into the music, but not.
She's
Well,
not into music.
I think she's into she's in the scene. They probably met in the scene, but she's not into like
I
the
don't think
metal.
so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think they just happened to meet in another way, and
I don't know. That picture in the living room suggested otherwise to me.
I don't. If you see her reaction to all of it,
Yeah, I mean she's tolerating it.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so the dad is played by Ethan Embry.
How will we know who he is? What has he done, Michael?
He's
Mikey?
done They.
He's
Oh.
Preston fucking Myers.
Thank you. Finally, someone with some good stuff.
Preston.
Preston. He wears shirts sometimes and has hair.
That thing you do, they,
Can't
Empire
hardly wait.
Records, Can't Hardly Wait, Incident on and off Mountainside Road from
Masters of
Masters
Horror.
of Horror. Season
There's also National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation.
Oh, he is Anthony Michael Hall.
Put a coin in and want to come.
Yep,
Yeah.
he's in the
Wanna
Vegas style.
And what has the mother done?
Mr. Rob Papachico.
Roswell.
Roswell.
The mom is popular for Roswell, excuse me. And I do not know much about the daughter's experience before.
I don't think she's had much because I looked at her IMDb page and yeah, I don't think she's.
So we see them basically going to this new house. They check it out. It turns out that it's the house that
It's the house that Satan
his name
built.
is Ray, by the way. The big bald crazy guy. His name is Ray. So it looks like they're looking at this new house. They're gonna come and buy it. They like it, And then we cut to Ray is basically at a motel. Looks like he's going to spend some time there, gets a room. And later that night, he plays loud again.
Oh yeah, I knew he still had everything with him. He was being he did the really creepy, weird psycho off character really well.
Yes,
Is this when he
did.
said that when he plays he can't hear the voices? Didn't he tell his mom that?
I don't remember if he told the mom, but he definitely said it the next time in the motel room.
Yeah.
He says it.
Hmm.
So basically, the reason that he's playing this very loud is because it drowns out these supposed voices that tells him to do bad, naughty things.
So a super hot cop comes to the door and tells him to be quiet.
Basically, yeah. But does he listen? Only for a little bit. So then,
I want that cop to come back too.
On a what is the scale on this one? 10-10?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
a little generous there, but okay.
What about the Ethan Embry's character?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Michelle, you can take
I
that
like
one.
him. I like him scruffy and dirty like that.
Why do
Yeah.
people who like metal look like Jesus?
Because Jesus
It's
is
like a
fucking metal.
prerequisite to like.
That's why.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a ginger Jesus.
Also, we point out. I'm going to point it out now. He was basically doing an impression of Matthew McConaughey through this movie.
He was doing a better Matthew McConaughey than Matthew McConaughey does.
He was doing Matthew McConaughey's impression of Matthew McConaughey.
Yes, in A Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Next Generation.
That's what it was.
That's exactly
No,
what
I
it
did
was.
notice
I
that
didn't
too.
see
I
that.
kept saying, I was like, wait, no, that's not Matthew McConaughey.
Okay, so now we see Jesse, which is Ethan Embry, go into Zoe, the daughter's room, and he's compelled to go towards a ghost poster.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you know
Yeah.
that the mark of where the cross was
Mm-hmm.
is behind the ghost poster, which is I
Yeah.
think the only openly satanic band that's won a Grammy Award.
Yes, I believe so.
So yeah, and by the way, cool posters. But
No,
she
they-
has
yeah.
she has range. She's going from the Riot Girl movement of Bikini Kill to like the early punk of the Clash to like of course she had a Ghost. She had a Sun poster up.
So-
Oh my God.
He was also wearing a shirt too.
He was wearing a Sun shirt.
Yeah,
Yes, he
I
was.
noticed that as well.
When I saw that he had a Sun shirt, I was like, okay, so this guy, whoever's doing this, likes
Oh.
actual metal.
Oh,
this
for
isn't
sure.
like someone that's going surface metal.
No, they know
They
their
know
shit.
something
Yeah.
if they're gonna talk about Sun.
So at that
the end.
point, he pretty much goes to where the cross was at the beginning of the movie. He starts hearing some weird voices himself. He starts to
He starts to
basically
paint.
he what?
He goes to the paint.
Yeah, he starts
He
he
feels
g-
compelled
something
to
comes over.
paint.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
it
compelled by it. The
to-
power of Christ
yeah.
compelled him.
Yeah, and he starts painting. He paints one painting.
It's actually the cross.
Yeah, it's upside down
It's
cross.
yeah, the upside down cross.
And he's in trance the whole entire time. And I believe his wife tries to like break him out of it, and she was asking him stuff. Things are muffled, which I really like that audio effect of that to show that he was in a trance. And then it pulls back, and we see that he painted. He doesn't realize that he painted it, but he painted an upside down cross.
And then the Ray character visits. Ray's the crazy guy once again. So he visits and he has his conversation with the daughter Zoe.
Which the daughter is so nice about. Like she's not even
She
creeped
is
out by this
welcoming,
guy.
man. She is very welcoming.
Yeah, she's like, "Hey, how's it going?"
She holds a good conversation. And eventually Jesse, which is Ethan Embry's character, addresses the situation, comes in very strong.
Comes in hot.
He does, and he tells him to get the hell out, close the door on him. And then Zoe has a fit because, as he always says, treat others as you wish to be treated.
So he is Jesus.
So yeah, he is.
So
Jesus.
I'll ask you this: if your daughter answered the door all really nice like that, like would you come in hot like that out of nowhere? Just
No.
I wasn't allowed to answer the door.
Yeah. First of all, she
I
probably
get
isn't going to
smacked in
be
the back of the
answering the
head.
door.
What are you doing?
No, I don't get set off like that. I mean, if he was like obviously creeping on her or like doing something weird, probably. But watching the scene, I thought that he kind of came off like a little bit of an asshole. But obviously his instincts were in the right place because of what happens later.
yeah,
I agree. I think he was an asshole in this because It was just a conversation. You could come in suspicious.
And you can tell that there's something wrong with. Even the mom said, like, there's something wrong with this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really clear.
Yep. So, but he does offer to give Zoe a Flying V guitar.
Well, because he's trying to come back home.
Yeah, he's trying to come back
Yeah.
home, and she loves
Because-
that Flying V, and he has a Marshall combo amp.
Yeah, which I mean, metal on metal. Well, not really. If it was a PV, it would. You know.
Metal, metal. Nice reference there. So that takes care of like the first 30 minutes of the movie. And then we go, things start picking up here. So we kind of go into the next act of where things go a little crazy. We see Ray in his car, like near a field, and he sees these two kids playing. Eventually, he goes up and basically hits that kid in the head with a rock, knocks him out.
He
And-
takes him.
Yeah,
back
he takes him.
and chops him up into pieces.
Yeah, and while this is happening, we see Jesse compelled once again to do another art piece, which consumes him so much that he forgets to pick up his own daughter Zoe.
Well, besides you that have already seen this before, any of the rest of you think that he was going to murder a child?
You're talking about Ray or Jesse?
Ray,
Right.
I never saw that shit coming. Sorry, say that word.
No.
you could use vulgarity, sir.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Say it again if you want
I
to
was
say
like,
shit.
that was my first shocking
don't-
moment.
I don't know.
Well, what was your reaction to it when you first saw him smashing that kid's head in?
Well, they didn't show it. It showed him picking up a rock behind him, and then he strikes it down, but then it cuts. It wasn't anything like super shocking to me.
Oh, just because you didn't actually see it. If it was more of like you saw the blunt object hitting the head, and
I mean, I wouldn't I wouldn't have wanted to have seen it. It probably would have been more shocking in terms of like being a horror movie, but it honestly didn't really make me feel. I kind of knew that this movie was gonna go to dark places, so it didn't surprise me. But yeah, why? What did you feel about it?
I don't know. I didn't think that it was going to be like children that he was going after.
I think it came out of nowhere in the sense of the story where it was.
Yeah.
Because he seemed off, but he didn't seem like a child murder at this time.
Yeah, I just thought he was like possessed and he was doing this weird guitar thing, and that was going to be about it.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
get
think
aggressive.
I have a reason as to why I feel the way I feel, but I'll talk about that at the end.
Okay.
So then we start to realize he goes to the school. He kind of makes up with Zoe because she's pretty pissed off at him, but she convinces him to keep the Flying V.
That's where
for
his
forgiveness.
Matthew McConaughey really comes out.
Yeah. Well,
Isn't
we
that part?
really see in this scene that he's more of a friend than a father.
Oh yeah, he's a
And
cool
that's
dad.
yeah, he's definitely the cool dad. But the painting is later revealed to be children that kind of engulfed in a fire, which is including Zoe herself.
Which the wife is not happy about that.
Yes.
And,
And then later on, he ends up drawing is it Cerbis on top.
oh
And-
yeah.
Yeah, he ends up. That's how he finishes the painting. So Ray, we go back to Ray. He's in the motel room and he has a like a bone saw of some sort,
Mm-hmm.
basically to insinuate that he's going to chop up the child, which he ends up doing because we're later seeing him putting
In
suitcases, like different suitcases, and he's burying them. And that's pretty much, I guess, what happens in the second act. That's where it takes over into that area.
Yeah, we have the little sub story of the father, Embry's character, Jesse.
Jesse.
He's a failing artist. Like I guess he's
Well,
been trying.
I think he just lost his.
Well,
muse.
he had been, I guess, trying to get into this one gallery, and they pretty much don't want him anymore, and he's shit.
Yeah.
So now he's just painting stuff for lobbies
paint's sake.
to get money. So then he has these new paintings that now he's trying to get them in, and he's going with this one gallery whose name
Good reference.
that's where I was really liking this, because I was like, oh, okay.
There's
I
little
see.
stuff here and there.
Yeah, the little stuff. The name of the gallery, which was Belial,
Belial.
and then the assistant, who was obviously supposed to play this like really
devilishly
yes.
good-looking woman.
yes, and he goes to them, and they don't want anything to do with them, but he has that one painting of the upside down cross, and he gives it to him, and they see it, and then they end up contacting him back. So now he's basically back in it. But then that's where everything turns for the second act.
Yes.
Where
Well, this is going to be technically the third act, which goes into it, because Ray visits them again at night and sneaks into the bed of Zoe.
Man, I don't understand how that happened with nobody.
He's a big guy. There's going to be some creaking going on.
And then for him to get in that bed, that girl's a heavy sleeper.
That's true. She would have popped up like in the air.
Like this dude.
You'd be
big,
surprised how some people don't hear things when they're sleeping. They'll
Or
sleep
feel
through
it, for
a
that
freight
matter.
train.
Yeah, feel that. Like, this is a big ass dude getting in her bed, like literally next to her, and breathing heavy. By the way, he's breathing very heavily, like right in front of her face.
So basically, the mom comes in.
She starts screaming, or she was about to scream. He covers her mouth.
Yeah.
This is where the movie started getting really intense.
Yes.
At least for me. I don't know how you all felt.
Like, I was like, oh.
Yeah, and then she tries to scream, and he got real creepy, and he's like, please don't scream, please don't scream. You promise you're not going to scream? If you scream, that's when I have to do something, because he's going to make me, and I don't want to. And that's where I was like, oh, okay, the devil's making you do this. Cool. Like, but anyway.
Yeah, so then the mom comes in after the scream, and she basically attacks him. He kind of freaks out and runs out and has a very brief kind of I guess he just bulldozes over Jesse while he's running out.
Oh, yeah. Well, he bulldozes over him, and then Jesse tries to grab his foot, and he kicks him in the head.
Knocks him out. He's done. Like, little ab boy is done. Preston is dead. So then we have an issue where they call the cops. The cops come. They're there watching over him. The next day, the daughter Zoe decides that she wants to go to school because she feels it's safer there than it is staying at the house.
She was wrong.
Yeah, she was a little wrong. Yeah, she was. And then at the same day, he gets the call that the curator, I guess, of Belial is going to come personally to their house.
Who I believe is Satan himself, by the way.
Could be. Right. To see his artwork. And let's see here. So that happens, but it's very close to when Zoe gets out. And he already promised her that he was never going to be late again. Mm-hmm. So he rushes through it, gets in his old-ass automobile.
I don't know if...
Station wagon.
Yeah, that's a throwback.
Vegas Vacation.
Yep, that's what I believe.
I didn't catch that.
I believe that.
I was like, oh, they had a station wagon.
Oh, that's a good catch.
I mean, it probably isn't, but I just...
Yeah, and then he had a blowout. And,
like that. He almost died.
It's like the forces were like, they were stopping him from getting there. Like the forces that are...
Did anyone else have an issue with the car behind them? Like, so he passed and there's a blowout. This car is obviously going like blowout left and right, and this car is trying to pass it. If I was in back of a blowout, I would put my brakes on and just let them go where they're gonna go.
Yeah,
because like
depends where I'm going.
I think that other person was so pissed off that he like cut him off almost.
It was road rage.
Yeah,
I'll get him. So, anyways,
So he gets stuck. He basically gets stuck, and he starts running to the school because he's screwed. His phone doesn't work. He can't get a hold of her. So he starts running to the school, which I thought was really good continuity because when he gets to the school, he's like soaking wet. He's like freaking out, like panicking.
And there's like nobody there.
Nobody's there. Nobody can find her. And then we find out why.
Ray took Zoe. He has her captured in his little motel room in the bathroom, duct taped up very nicely. So I have to say this, and this is something for only a few select viewers here. My personal opinion, and you could judge me if you want. Anytime you're tied up like that or taped up like that, just think about Barry Gordy's Last Dragon. That's how you get out of any situation.
That's the only way you can
do it. That's the only way to get out of it.
You got to breakdance to get out.
You got to wiggle it out. But
I know you don't know this reference.
Mm-mm. No, you've never seen it.
I'm too young.
That's kind of true.
I'm not.
She's not.
I don't know. I maybe have to see it again. I'm like, huh? I don't know. Duct tape is like duct tape, though. I don't know how she got out of that, but I was like,
the way she got out, I thought was brilliant.
That was really
made sense.
And that was probably the most intense scene for me in the movie.
I was like,
like
Can't breathe.
when just as he was about to get to that door handle and she was able to get out of there, that was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
this is intensity.
Yeah, so she eventually gets out of duct tape just in time. He catches her ankles, but she still manages to escape, and she runs to the police station, and she's reunited with her parents. Which she gives a little low blow to Jesse, and it hurt.
Yeah.
It really hurt. And then Ray reveals why he does all this, and it turns out that actually, I don't think Ray reveals it. It's the cop that reveals it, because he did this when he was 12 years old to a 9-year-old.
And then Jesse asked him why.
Yes.
He goes, did he say why he does this? And he said yes.
He has to feed children to Satan.
He said because they're the devil's candy.
Yummy. So now we're at home. Jesse decides that he's going to slice the painting up because he's already saw its effect on him and how it's affecting the family, and I think he just takes it all out in the painting. But we also have 2 cops stationed outside to help protect the family overnight, because they're about to go into witness protection, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and they just finished loading up all their luggage for them in the cop car. They're kind of just getting their things, and then
boom!
It really happened that way.
Yeah. And it turns out that Ray used his car to hit the other
first you
car.
hear screaming coming from inside. It's just the mom and the daughter.
Well, you hear the boom first, and then you hear the screaming. Like it's ruckus because he managed to hit the car to...
Yeah, but I thought that was one thing that I really liked, is the build up to that, because obviously this girl's going to be fucked up for the rest of her life for being kidnapped twice. And she knows something's going on outside, and she starts hearing, because one of the cops is a female, so she starts hearing her screaming.
bloody murder.
Mm-hmm.
And the mom is like going to the door slowly, and the daughter's like, no, no, no. And it's interesting because as an audience member, I'm like, oh, what are we going to see? Because those screams seem really bad.
Yeah. It was intense. That whole part I thought was really well done.
Yeah.
And I
I
started
agree.
feeling really bad for this girl. God damn it. I started thinking that.
She
like,
played
this
it very
girl
well.
is so... She's fucked up
It's
for the
like, you're
rest
not
of her life
getting
now.
away with this.
It's like, just
We're gonna
die,
get
because you're
you.
not going to have a good quality of
Yeah.
life after
Yeah,
this.
there's just
You're
nothing.
screwed
There's nothing
up.
to save her at this point.
Yeah.
Like she's never gonna feel safe in her life
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, so then at this point, the cop is pinned in between 2 cars.
Yes, and
pretty
she's
much
screaming.
dying.
Oh, and then the way he takes him
Oh.
out.
Then the other cop, right?
Well,
He
the other
hits him
cop
with
is
the
down,
hot cop is
down.
back.
Yeah,
He hits him with the rock in the
Yeah.
head.
yeah, and
Well,
There
you know
goes witness
why all this
protection.
happened? Because they were flirting outside.
there was a
At
little
the
bit
cars.
of flirting. I saw that too.
Yeah. If they weren't flirting and they just got on with their job, nobody
She
would have
didn't
been
have
pinned.
to worry about getting honey on her muffin.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't have been in the oven.
So at this point, it gets a little more intense.
'Cause Ray basically
he's like coming
Just
for you.
murders them both.
Yeah, and so he comes in right when he's on his way up. Jesse comes in through the back, and the girls leave the room.
He tells them to go hide.
Yeah, he says, "Go hide."
Run. Yeah, he
And-
says run. Yeah.
And then he goes and he gets a bat, decides to hide right on the corner.
God, that annoyed me so much with that though.
So so Ray opens the door, and this is probably the one part that it took me out a little. Like, you have a bat. What the hell just happened? I don't
fucked
understand
up,
what
dude.
happened.
You
Yeah,
fucked
he
up.
really
That's
messed up.
he
and
really fucked up.
and it got him shot.
Yeah.
And it shot him real good. He was out. He was dead, as far as we know. And
and
so
this
then-
part. Oh.
This was the most intense part for me.
Absolutely, by far. So after he shot, Ray walks over his body, goes to the door. opens it
they're
up.
hiding. And
Yes.
The mother and daughter are hiding in that room, and you know they are.
And this is Mikhail Haneke at its finest, the guy that did Funny Games, is where we stay on a shot of absolute no movement, nothing's going on, and you just let action off screen tell the story. And this was a perfect example of that, where the tension was beautiful. So basically, he goes in, opens the door. We hear a gunshot, we hear crying, and then we see Ray pulling out Zoe. And he pulls her all the way out, all the way to the door. And
She's
then
kicking, screaming.
Yeah, she's kicking and screaming. They go outside, and then we see the mom, which her name is Astrid. She crawls out. she was obviously shot, and she's basically crawling all the way out. And then we have Ray and Zoe reappear. This time he has a container of gas. And I love this next part. He pulls the gun out to her head.
Oh, yeah, because she's still alive and he notices that.
And he's going to finish her mafia style.
Yeah. And the mom just mouths out, "I love you" to the daughter.
Yeah. The acting in this was impeccable to pull off the type of tension. And honestly, at this point, even if she was shot or not, the tension was there. I mean, it didn't matter to me if she was shot or not because I felt it either way. Luckily, when he pulled the trigger, it was empty. Then he just decides to pour gas going up the stairs, and he ignites it, he lights it. So we have the bottom of the house basically in flames. The mom crawls to Jesse and kind of tries to wake him up. He has a quick vision and snaps back into it.
But this is because of the grace of God, though.
Kind of action hero
Oh,
style.
yeah, it
like
was.
he's just, where is she?
Yeah.
You know, and
cue the metal music.
Yes.
and he manages to pull out Astrid.
I feel like that's why you didn't like this movie as much as you.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I was like, I am being force fed this metal, and
That's why he knew I would like this movie.
Yes, it was great.
Oh, and because of Preston fucking Myers.
Yeah, of course. So he pulls out Astrid, and then he gets a ladder to go upstairs because by this time you can't get anywhere downstairs. Crawls in through a window, and he has his face off against Ray.
Oh, is this John Travolta face off?
Yes, face off.
Face off.
And it's pretty brutal. He punches his face in pretty nice.
So basically, we have the scene from the painting happening. It's unfolding.
That's exactly what's happening.
Like-
Yes.
And he saves her. And then he saves her with that flying V.
The flying V guitar.
That is the most metal thing that happened.
mm-hmm.
So then he takes Zoe out. Everything's done, but he says they're inside of him. He still feels them. And I guess he's talking about the children that he painted. And he actually goes to where he finds the area where the last kid that we saw that was murdered.
He basically just runs off from them
Yeah.
and starts running down in the
The
field, yeah.
Yeah, the field.
And he sees fresh ground being.
And yeah, and he just removes it and
Do you hate
he
this
saves
so
it.
much?
I don't though.
You're so unenthused. He just finds fresh dirt. And
Yeah, and so
finds
that's the
these
end of the movie,
kids.
guys. So yeah.
yeah, it really ends abruptly like that. Like
Very
he
abrupt
he got the cold case file, but like that's how it just ends, But I think overall, it was a good movie.
Yeah, so
I love the look.
This is directed by Sean Byrne. It's his second feature-length movie. His first one was The
Blair
Loved
Witch.
Ones. What?
He did Blair Witch.
What do you mean he did Blair Witch?
He is the guy that did Blair Witch.
No, he's not.
Then how come my DVD box that I was forced to buy says from the creators of
That's like
Blair
Alex
Witch.
something.
Not the Blair
Alex
Witch
Sanchez.
Project.
Oh,
Blair Witch.
Oh yeah, you remember? There's more Blair Witches. There's the Blair Witch.
yeah. No, he
Project.
didn't. He didn't do any of them.
Well, since Ernest isn't here to look for us, I will look at you.
Okay. Well,
Continue
hold on.
talking.
He's looking at IMDb. Let's.
What was the movie called again? The Devil's
I don't know. You tell me. Oh, I thought you meant one of the Blair Witch movies. Oh.
Devil's Candy.
Yeah, no, he did The Loved Ones. That was his first feature-length movie.
That's the Australian one?
Yes.
Sorry.
So which Blair Witch movie did he do?
The good one. Sorry, I'm just kidding. There's only one good one.
Hang on. IMDb. Oh, he did The Secret too. Interesting.
I just want to say that this movie, I thought the look of this movie was really good. I loved the way it looked. I liked the soundtrack. Oh, by the way,
Okay.
this is the best part because, yes, it ends. But throughout the movie, there is this, obviously, it's so metal with things. And they talk about Metallica. But Metallica is never played at all in the movie until the very end on the credits. And you hear the bells, and then Metallica plays. Like finally, throughout, they talk about it. They have obviously the bobblehead, like it's set in there.
It's from Exodus. It's before he was in Metallica.
But I'm saying, like, they talk about it, and it's just like you just expect like that to kind of happen, and it doesn't happen till the very end. And then I was like, "Ha, you did it! You did it!"
I'm still waiting on the Blair Witch movie.
It's from the producers of The Blair Witch comes the brutal thriller The Devil's Candy.
Producers,
Which is the same discussion we had last time of is this a horror movie or a thriller?
So,
actually,
I would say thriller.
Me too.
This wasn't really horror.
Thank you.
I think this was a horror. I think
this was a long episode of CSI.
I think it was
cold case.
I don't know the shows, but one of those. 911.
So okay, Roel.
Why do you say horror? As
Because
opposed to
I
these
think
two?
it was a darker movie than a thriller. There's obviously
It's like a paranormal thriller.
there is like satanic
Light
elements.
paranormal.
There was a little more blood. I felt that its intention was darker than a thriller movie.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this dude's offing little kids.
This is atmospheric horror. This is what it really is, an atmospheric horror movie. It's as horror as I would say The Loved Ones was. It's atmospheric.
Yeah, I thought. Well, I mean, then we have Black Phillip in there. I mean,
Mega Black Phillip. Yeah,
mega
that was Mega Black
fucking
Phillip.
metal Black Phillip.
Oh, that goat did show up at the end.
It was like in the middle when he started having like visions. He looked outside in the
Yeah.
grass. Like there was so much satanic shit in this movie.
Yeah, but satanic
Threaded
doesn't
in.
necessarily mean paranormal. I mean,
I didn't say
if you,
paranormal.
I didn't see paranormal.
if you take out like
The metal.
if you take out no, not the metal. If you take
Please
out
don't.
like
Ethan
the
Embry?
fact that
Don't you do that ever.
that we can hear the whispers, it could be about a psycho guy that thinks the devil's talking to him and kills children.
And then it would just be a thriller to you
Thriller.
without all the.
Yeah, but because it's in there.
I mean, if Bruce Willis was in it, it would just be a thriller.
No, it would be a Christmas movie.
Ooh.
No.
That's not a
No, it
Christmas
won't.
movie.
So, anyways, Roel, would you recommend this movie?
I would recommend this movie because I thought it was actually a really good movie overall. It had a lot of suspense. It had enough. I mean, obviously, I like the whole like satanic thing going on, and that's why everything was happening.
Hail Satan.
Yeah.
I disagree. Praise Jesus. Merry Christmas soon.
Oh
Happy
my
holidays.
I'm just
God.
kidding, Mama does.
Which is funny is he's justifying it by saying Merry Christmas, which is a pagan holiday.
Oh my God. We're so snooty and above everything else. Anyways.
That was a good Santa.
That was a very good Santa.
Yeah, I would. I thought it. I thought overall it was good. I thought soundtrack good. Obviously, Preston fucking Myers.
Where do you
People
think?
that don't understand that reference, I do. This is from Can't Hardly Wait, in case you've been asking yourself every time Roel says that, what does that mean?
Because that's my favorite teen movie ever.
Because you have no legs.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best ones.
By
But
the
he was
way,
in there. Yeah.
Never mind.
No, you can ask.
Well, no, it's because the one thing about Can't Hardly Wait that I never understood
Ask me.
is the watermelon thing. When they go into the refrigerator and the girl starts freaking out about the watermelon. I don't know. I didn't understand it. I was like, I don't know what they're doing.
I think they put poop in there or something, and then
There wasn't a watermelon in there.
it was poop. Somebody
There's
put
other
poop
stuff in there.
or something in the fridge. And
Say
she
one
was
more
like,
time,
"Who
please."
put poop in there?"
Maybe I was just too young to understand.
So, Roel,
Yes, I would recommend.
any flaws in the movie?
Yes, it wasn't. This movie was not perfect. I think for me the flaw was obviously this movie is about the father and the daughter and that crazy guy. The mother was completely like an
How
afterthought.
dare you.
She was. She really was. She wasn't really
She was
there.
my favorite character.
Roswell fans are going to eat you alive.
I mean, I get it,
was
but
not a
she.
fan of Roswell, but she's like the only one that I was actually like, I'd hang out with her.
No, I mean she was really good, but she only really did anything towards the end.
Say, where were you? Why weren't you picking up your daughter from school?
Like I don't even
She's a
know.
working mom.
Yeah, but I don't even know where she was
She
working
worked
because
2 bus stops away, guys.
that's what the other thing was
she was a
too.
hairdresser. Don't pay attention to the movie.
I didn't pay attention to that little part. Was that what she was?
Yes, she was a
Yeah.
hairdresser.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That's
missed
how
that.
that's how little that they put her out there that
Well.
we forgot.
It was all about Preston for me, so I totally forgot about that.
And his hair was
Right.
messy.
Someone
So you felt the flaw was not giving enough attention to the mother character?
Not
well,
enough
I don't think that was a
development.
flaw. I just think that that was
Could have been
one thing.
improved.
Yeah, that could have been improved for sure. I think outside of that, I don't know. I guess maybe just for other people to like it probably a little bit more, less emphasis on metal for someone like this one across from me who doesn't like metal.
I do like
never
metal.
be enough metal.
I do like metal.
Never.
I will give my opinion. in
But
a
yeah,
minute.
I don't know if I can really say anything outside of just that small thing right now. What could necessarily be improved off the top of my head. I just remember that I just really liked the way it looked. I liked the symbolism a lot. I think that was the main thing that I really liked a lot, was a certain little elements of like the symbolism to everything, just like the gallery name and, you know, seeing the certain visions and like connecting everything. Because we didn't touch on the fact that when Ray had his episodes, Jesse was having his at the
Yeah, they
exact
were
same
connected.
time. Yeah, they were connected.
There's a bond there somehow.
Yeah, it was the satanic bond happening.
That's satanic
What-
sodomy.
Yeah.
And to your point about the Jesus thing, Red was associated with Ray often, and if he, Jesse looked like Jesus, maybe he was the Jesus
Well,
aspect.
he
of
did wear
character.
white frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was the one that ended up finding all the kids, and he was the one being kind of tortured by it.
Almost like their savior.
Oh my God, Becky.
All right, so
Mind-blowing.
Mikey,
What?
Would you
Um,
suggest?
would you suggest this?
Yes.
After all of that, what were you going to say earlier that you were like, I'm going to save it for the end?
Oh, I was just gonna say that when this movie first came out, it had a lot of buzz about it. It had a lot of buzz. Okay, louder or softer?
Closer.
When this movie first came out, it had a lot of buzz to it, and so when I watched the trailer, I don't remember exactly seeing it, but I remember just being kind of like, "Oh, that looks decent." I remember it coming off more as like almost like an Amityville horror where the dad was being impacted. So when I watched it, it was different. It was decent. I did enjoy it. I do like metal regardless of what other people say, but my thing was I was kind of getting more of a serious tone from the movie overall, and if it wanted me to take it more seriously, I don't mind the metal, the dad and the daughter being like super into metal, but like when the metal starts playing as like the score, because the dad's like, rising above and like beating up the bald guy, like I'm like, okay, this is just like wrestling now. But yeah, so that was just my opinion.
So you feel that the overuse of metal is kind of what drew it back for you.
Just took
just
it
at
away.
the end, just
Yeah.
whenever it actually became the actual score, just because it didn't match the theme of the movie for me. I mean, obviously there is a theme of metal with the father and the daughter, but it's kind of like it had, when you make a Satanist movie and whenever you're being serious and you're killing children, it's a very somber tone. It's almost like if Rosemary Baby all of a sudden just busted out metal at the end when she's finding out everybody's in the apartments against her. Spoiler alert.
Oh man.
But yeah, that was the only reason.
But it was so good when the guitar went down and it made the guitar noise of meow.
I don't know, but maybe I was just in a bad mood when I watched this. But I was like, Homegirl
Obviously.
is screaming way too much at the end of the movie.
I know he turned him down.
Yeah, I was like,
If you were to liken this to another movie, what would it be? I really thought Mikey was talking. That was really good.
that's a tough one. Oh, no. I don't know. It's
Darkness Falls?
No. I was gonna say Identity, but
Is that because of the actor?
I don't know if it's because of the actor or if it had that same kind of feeling to it. I don't know.
Were you happy with the casting?
Yes. Everybody was good. I asked myself a question because when the mother was about to get shot in the head, I thought they were just going to do it, but they didn't. I know you already answered this, Jared, but Michelle and Roel, do you think it would have changed anything or intensified anything more if they did shoot the mom in the face?
I think so, yes, for sure. But I'm kind of glad it didn't go that way.
Yeah.
I was expecting it, honestly. But and then I kind of do that when I watch movies when people pop off. It's like, isn't there like only so many bullets in there? There's some movies where they keep going pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
I was like, he has to run out of bullets eventually. So I kind of try to count. So when I kind of figured it was going to happen where they ran out of bullets. But
Yeah.
but if they would have happened to shoot her brains, that would have definitely changed a lot of things. But I don't think they would have showed it. Just like the Rock thing, they cut it out.
Yeah.
I think it's more like of a mind thing versus seeing it. So, But I like blood, so either way, it still would have been great.
I don't like that I count bullets too in movies. I'm like, okay, 1, 2, that was 3.
It's like, no
He
way.
doesn't. He only has like 2 left.
Exactly, and then there's still pop, 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 pop,
yeah.
pop.
I think it would have. I mean, it definitely would have impacted it completely different if they did. Even if they did the whole pull away type thing and then he did shoot her. Obviously, I don't know if it. Maybe it would have changed the way he awakens again to save the daughter, and it wouldn't have been so, so like superhero, like, probably would have been different. He probably would have woken up and saw his wife dead, and then been different, when he woke up.
Lost it or something.
Yeah. I didn't want the mom to die, but kind of like what Jared said. What did you say? They were making so many like homages to like, or homages, I don't know the word, to funny games, and there's a lot in, reading about the movie and just the theme overall. I was expecting them to, because I honestly think if they did kill the mom that way, especially with that long pause to like make you anxious, it would almost take it to another level of a darkness of a movie. Because it's already dark. It's about Satanism. It's about killing children.
Yeah.
But to have this mother character, and actually, I think we found it. I mentioned in one of the previous episodes, my goal is to find a movie where I don't want anyone to die. Like, there's always a shitty character that you're like, God, just kill them. This one didn't have that character. So because of that, if they would have killed the mom, who was a good mom and she was a good character, it would have taken it to another darkness that would, I think, match the satanic tone a lot more. But I necessarily don't know if I wanted it to happen.
So you found a movie?
Yeah.
And I think that's a good point. Actually, I know, right?
Yeah.
Praise be.
You found the movie. You don't want anybody to die.
That's right.
Yeah.
The podcast is over.
It's done. We're over. That was the whole quest.
I think you have a good point. Is that even the Ray character? I
You
really saw
felt-
him as a victim.
Yeah.
He
Well,
was-
I mean,
I just saw him as a victim of mental health.
I honestly thought he was going to die in the beginning, and then his voices were going to go to the dead.
I like how this movie left that open to where you didn't know where it was going necessarily. It left it open to where it could go so many places.
And
that-
I
that
thought
felt
the
really
same
good.
thing too. I honestly thought before the Ray character showed up again, or the hotel or whatever, I thought when the dad heard the voices behind the ghost poster.
I thought he was gonna be the killer.
Yeah, I was like, well,
Like
there goes the
Amityville
family.
Horror.
Yeah, exactly. No, I really did. I was like, well, this
Alright.
is already gonna.
Exactly.
Okay, so Michelle,
Yes.
would you recommend this?
Yes, I definitely would. I think personally it was a nice little thriller, something different. But like you said, it takes you to where it could go either way, and you had to kind of keep watching to figure it out. But once you started to see what was going on, it's like, oh well, this is different. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It was a good watch.
Who would you not recommend this to? What type?
Pastors. Just kidding.
Pastor.
Definitely religious people. I don't think they'd appreciate that too much. Like my parents are really religious, and
Well,
they don't watch stuff like that.
Yeah, and also there's people that get a little sensitive with child deaths, especially
for
when
sure.
they just
Yeah.
have kids.
Definitely.
So probably not them either.
So you would recommend it? Okay, great. So I would totally recommend this. I think this is another example of excellent writing, good storytelling that was compelling enough to forgive any kind of mistakes that might have happened throughout the movie. Great setups. Everything seemed to be taken care of. A lot of callbacks, a lot of homages to other projects, to movies. It was really a solid piece. And here's the thing about me. I love metal. And often in movies, when something is trying too hard, I hate the movie. Even if it's stuff that I like, I will hate it because I see that's trying to push, metal. I don't think at any point this movie tried too hard to do anything. I think it was very natural. They did everything in a way that I just felt was okay. But with the metal stuff, like example, metal is used very cleverly in this. So when he's painting, they play one of my favorite Pantera songs, which is By Demons Be Driven, which is great because the title, he is being driven by demons to do this painting. So another little clever shout out there.
I actually got kind of excited when I heard that, and I was like, oh.
What's funny is they chop it. You had the beginning
yeah.
and in the end, which is basically very similar in sounds. It just sounds like one long song of chugga 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 chugga. But yeah, I love the use of music the way they did in here. It wasn't too much. I don't think they tried to, because often when they try to push it, everyone looks like posers. Like trying to fit in.
Yeah.
The daughter and Ethan Embry, they really felt like these are just two metalheads.
Yeah.
Two metalheads. They love metal, and that's how they get through life.
And that's their common bond, and that's what they.
And really, I would recommend it to anyone that loves good storytelling, a solid movie that they will not be disappointed in, because I don't think this really fails in a lot of departments of filmmaking.
Yeah. Also, I can greatly respect a reasonably length movie of an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, this was it packed a lot in. It went quick. It was short, but I didn't feel like it was missing anything. I didn't feel like it was rushed.
Yeah, I didn't either. I felt it was like a really good time. I didn't think at any point was I like, oh, how much more do I have?
Yeah, exactly.
So for the rating system, IMDb gave it a 6.4 out of 15,174. Not bad.
6.4.
Yeah, 6.4%.
Nobody could like make it just a 666 on this.
No, they don't have that rating. I know they would. But on Rotten Tomatoes, 92% out of 50. That's pretty damn high. We go to
92% out of 50.
Sorry, no, 92% out of 50 votes.
Oh, I was like,
Or I should say from 50 votes. That is the tomato meter. For the audience, it's a 64% out of 5,598 votes. So we're getting some pretty high ratings here and there. 72% on Metacritic out of 10 critic reviews. So overall, this is held as pretty good.
Did you at any point after you saw this movie back then, did you tell Mr. Embry that you liked it? Like, did you contact him?
No, no.
Well,
I should, right?
you should.
If you're listening to this, Ethan, I loved it. You were right.
And I loved you and Can Hardly Wait.
Yes.
Well, I just love you.
So that was it. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, everybody else, realizes that the art guy, he was Satan. Come on, let's be honest.
Do you really? Does everyone else feel that?
I do, yeah. And he was trying to
because he was trying to stop him.
He
him
was trying
from
to stop
picking
him.
up the daughter.
He was like, have
He was
another
like, "I'm
drink.
not
He was
here
tempting
anymore."
him with everything. And
Yeah.
then, the car blowing out, like the
Clever
tire.
girl.
And why do
Come
you
on.
think his demon secretariat was like,
So
oh,
hot.
he'll see you again
Yeah.
now that you draw
Yeah.
upside down crosses?
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole thing, man. That's why I
It
liked
is.
it. That's why I liked it.
I love stories and movies like this that feel like there's a lot of time and care put into the storytelling, where it's really hard to pick apart plot. The only thing I say that I could pick apart is how he uses the bat. That's the only issue
Oh,
I have
man.
with this movie.
Actually, you know what? You're right. Now that you said that, the one thing I could have changed. Yeah, the one thing I could have changed is he was probably a little bit better at self-defense and attacking that guy. Like,
But he was little compared to that big guy, though.
yeah, but he had an open opportunity to hit his arms with the bat and knock the gun out, and he fucks it up.
Yeah.
And then the guy doesn't even know how to shoot a gun right and just starts shooting everywhere, and
He eventually gets him.
eventually gets it because he starts running in the line.
Yeah,
in
he
the
runs right in
hallway.
the line of fire. He's like,
Right
don't hit
in the
me.
line of fire. Like, it was kind of dumb, but
But yeah, another great work for this director, and based upon his two movies, his two features, I think I'm excited to see what he has coming up next. And I didn't see anything upcoming on IMDb, so maybe he's taking a break from filmmaking. But I would love to see him back. So yes, I think by the time you hear this, even though we are recording this on Friday 13th of December, I think you're not going to get this until January.
Probably.
So in that case, Happy New Year, guys. Thank you for staying with us.
let's do this before, so that way it just sounds real dumb.
What?
Happy New Year, and it's not even New Year.
Yeah,
Happy
I'll put
New
it on the
Year's
29th
Day.
of December.
That's my birthday.
Is it really?
Yeah.
All right, everyone. You know a little
Happy
You
more
already
about
know,
this
yeah.
mysterious galaxy over
Mine's
here.
on the 17th.
Of December?
Yes.
When
What?
is that?
Next Tuesday. Tuesday.
Well, then I'll
There you
see
go.
you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh my
Sweet.
god.
Where,
Someone got it.
On Tuesday that I posted that. It's like, it's on Tuesday.
Well,
Only on Tuesday.
I would
Alright.
deftely like to thank you for coming on today.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you guys
Thank
for having
you,
me.
Michelle.
Finally making it out.
Where can people find you? Do you want people to find you? Do you want any social media that you
Y'all
You
would?
can
don't be
look up at
inboxing
the
her.
Yeah.
the
Don't
no DMs.
inbox her. What is it? Work only.
yes, horror business only. No, really, my inbox is crickets. Nobody bothers me because they know better. It's like, nuh-uh. I keep it short.
It took a lot of work because I think your inbox used to be littered.
It
didn't
just depends on what I post. Like, then, when I want attention, I guess. But I still keep it short. I'm like, no. But if you guys want to check me out on the Horrific Film Fest or the channel for the Horrific Film Fest, and that's where you can find me and look up some interviews that me and Jared have worked on.
Yes, and actually, you may hear more of her in time whenever someone's out. She's kind of filling in for us, so you may hear Michelle step in. And also, we will be at conventions, and she may be doing a lot of the interviewing of celebrities as well
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
conventions.
So keep
So,
an eye out for Red Vixen.
yes. And do we want to close with anything?
Yeah, just hit up our social media.
Oh, wait.
outlets.
Since this
Oh,
is
yeah,
actually going to be
Facebook.
posted in January, what'd you guys get for Christmas?
Oh, I got this
Yeah, okay.
really awesome. I don't know what I got.
Double-sided python.
It's the fists.
Oh, the Great American Challenge.
Yeah. It's the Infinity Fist. Yeah, but we also just, follow us on Instagram.
Oh,
Horror
sorry.
Trash
Yeah.
Podcast.
Instagram.
Where can they find our Facebook, Roel?
You can find our Facebook at Facebook, but we are at Horror Trash Pod.
Hard
I
Trash
d-
Pod.
I don't
We
know why.
forgot the cast.
Yeah,
I did.
but on Instagram is Horror Trash Podcast, and these should be coming up pretty soon. You can find us on a couple of the platforms, but mainly right now just on YouTube. You can find these.
Yes, and keep supporting us. Liking, sharing, subscribing to the page. It's really going to help us make more content for you. We're still kind of working out how we're going to get our format, but I think we're coming along pretty well, and we'll
If
only
you
get
have any
better.
suggestions,
Yeah.
just
Please
tell
drop
us.
suggestions and tell us how we can make this better.
What
I mean,
movies you want us to review?
Yeah,
Yeah.
movies are great.
Or if you want to be little trolls, you can be little trolls too. That's fun.
Yes, and please troll Michelle. She likes it.
Oh, yeah.
She likes attention.
Especially on Tuesdays.
Almost
No.
as much as she likes unsolicited dick pics.
Oh.
Just
Wow.
kidding, that's illegal in
Oh,
Texas.
it is. I will
So
put
do
that
it.
to the co-host.
It'll be them that's getting in trouble.
Anyways, thank you guys for listening. We had fun, and we will see you soon.
Hard Trash Podcast.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Uh.